Hey guys, here we go. Practice test 26. Review. Here we go. Number 1 through 4. Remember, the answer to log is an exponent. So number 1 is basically asking you 3 to what power is 81? The fourth power. Number 2, there is no base. It's really base 10. So it's asking you 10 to what power is 10,000 because there's 4 zeros. That's also 4. Maybe everything's 4. Number 3, log base 8 of what 8 to what power is 1? Anything to the 0 power is 1. So anytime you have a 1 in there, always going to be 0. Number 4, fourth root. Remember, if it's natural log, the base is e. So it's asking you what power would you raise e to get the fourth root. Remember, bottom is the root, top is the power. So it's 1/4 power. Number 5, graph that log. It's got an x plus 1 inside, which shifts your graph left once your asymptote is going to be, instead of on the y-axis, it's going to be at -1. Our first point's always going to be 1 to the right. Second point, I want to make that parentheses be the same value as the base. Well, to make that happen, I got to put a 2 in for x because 2 plus 1 is 3. That would give you log 3, which is 1, obviously. So I put in 2 for x, and I got 1. So that's my point. 2, 1. Connect the dots, la, la, la. And you got it. Number 5 through 7, you need to make this as many logs as possible. And so anytime I see multiplication, that means you're going to do addition of logs. So I'm going to break it up 3 ways. I'm going to say log base a x to the 5th plus log base a y cubed plus log base a z. And then remember, exponents always go in the front. So put the 5 in the front, log base a x. Put the 3 in the front, log base a y. And then, of course, you still got that log base c. And that's all you do on that one. Number 7, make it a little bit bigger here. This one has multiplication and division. Remember, division means you subtract. So anything on your denominator is going to have a minus sign. Anything in your numerator is going to have a positive sign, like we talked about this week. Hey, so I got log 4. Sorry about that. Somebody walked in, so I don't know what I was saying. So adding the b, also log b. Then anything on your denominator is going to have subtraction. So it's going to be minus log 7 minus log a squared. Then the last step, you just need to take that exponent to the front. I probably could have done that in one step if I had been a little smarter. That 2 needs to go in front of that log a. And there you have it. Number 8, last one of these. First of all, there's the square root. So I'm going to put a big 1/2 in the front. And then I'm going to break it up. So I'm going to do natural log x to the 6th minus natural log p to the 5th minus natural log r to the 8th. Let's do this. I'm going to go ahead and distribute that 1/2. So I'm going to have a 1/2 natural log x to the 6th minus 1/2 natural log p to, oops, that's not very good p at all. P to the 5th minus 1/2 natural log r to the 8th. Now, this is going to sound crazy, but remember, the number in the front is an exponent. So if I take that, well, let's do it this way. I'm going to take the 6 and put it in the front also. So I'll put in the 6 in there with the 1/2. Half of 6 is 3. So I'm going to 3 natural log x. Take the 5 in the front. 5 halves natural log p. Put the 8 in the front. Half of 8 is 4 natural log r. Number 9, now we're going backwards. Now expressed as a single logarithm. All right, so I'm going to take number 9. I see subtraction, so I'm going to divide. I'm going to do log of 1,000 divided by 10, which, by the way, that is 100. So basically, remember, it's base 10. 10 to what power is 100? 2. Could actually work that one all the way out. Number 10, the 1/2 here is really the exponent on that, so I'm going to put that's really square root of x. Bottom is a root, top is a power. The 2 is the y squared. The 4 is the x to the 4th. Now remember, anything that's positive is going to my numerator. Anything negative is going to denominator. So I'm going to have a y squared on the square root of x on the top. Switch the order there so you could tell the y squared is outside. And the x to the 4th on the denominator. And that's it. Number 11. Please watch this closely. Let's do this first. I'm going to have natural log x squared minus that 2 right there is really the exponent. And if you square a square root, that's just x. Now if I subtract, you divide, so I have x squared over x, which is just natural log x. I'd really look at that one carefully if I were you. Number 12, I'm going to find the same base here because this side is already a 4. 16 is really 4 squared. So what I can do is I can just, now that the bases are the same, don't have to worry about those. Just set your exponents equal to each other. Move the 5, make that 7, and divide by 3. 7/3. There you have it. Don't have to do log if you don't want to. You can also do log there if you want to, just like I'm about to do on 13. 13, I have to do log of both sides because I can't find the same base. So I can put the x in the front. X log 15 equals log 70. You could also use ln if you want to. All I got to do to finish up here is divide log 70 divided by log 15 on the calculator, which is 1.5688. You need to go probably 4 decimal places there. Number 14. X is on both sides here. I'll show you a little trick on this one. Because it's a 10, instead of using ln, I'm going to go ahead and do log. And some of y'all use log a lot anyway, so it doesn't matter. But here's why I'm using the log. Because remember, log, if you just write log, it's really base 10. And log base 10 is really 1. So it's just really negative 3x times 1. So I have this. All right, so I'm going to move that 3x over there. So I have x log 28 plus 3x equals 0. Factor out the x. I have log 28 plus 3. And if I divide both sides by log 28 plus 3, I'm going to get 0 because 0 divided by anything is 0. And there you have it. There's 14. 15. Synthetic, you should be experts at this by now. 2 in the box, 2, 0, 3. You're going to have lots of zeros. I want to be honest with you. You're going to have lots of zeros in your test tomorrow, so make sure you put those zeros everywhere you need them. By the way, if you don't have that negative 1 at the end right there, you need to put a 0 for your constant term also. Bring the 2 down. 2 times 2 is 4. Add, multiply, add, multiply, add, multiply, add, multiply, 44. So I'm getting 43 from our remainder. So my solution, my quotient is 2x cubed plus 4x squared plus 11x plus 22. And of course the 43 goes over the x minus 2. 16. Got to find that. Well, first of all, let's factor this one. That's x plus 3x minus 3. Tell what x cannot be. X cannot equal positive or negative 3. And I'm going to multiply everything up here by the LCD, which is x plus 3x minus 3. X plus 3x minus 3. That is the LCD. And what I'm going to do, when I multiply by the LCD, all the fractions are going to cancel. So those cancel. That leaves me a 5 times x plus 3 minus the x plus 3's cancel. 3, that leaves a 3 and x minus 3. On the right-hand side, everything cancels. So it just leaves me a negative 2. All right, so I'm going to distribute the 5 and distribute the negative 3. And now combine stuff, that gives me 2x and 24. Let's move that 24 over. Divide by 2. Got it. And by the way, I circled it real quick because I know it wasn't positive or negative 3. 2 more. 17. Graph that exponential. Now, exponential, usually our asymptote is on the x-axis, but the minus 2 shifts it down 2, so I'm going to go down 2. Remember, our first point's almost always up 1. And then what I'm going to do for my second point, so I'm going to go right 1 from there, which is 1. And if I plug in 1 right there for x, it gives me 3 to the first power, which is 3, by the way. Minus 2. 3 minus 2 is 1. So I plugged in 1, and I got 1. The other thing we talk about sometimes is whatever that number is right there, if you go 1 to the right, your second point's going to be that far above the asymptote. So 3 units above the asymptote, which is where we are. Connect the dots. La, la, la. You got it. Make sure I can see your 2 points tomorrow. And the last one, number 18. It's been a while since we've done this. Square. Multiply double square with an I. All right, so I'm going to square the 2. Multiply together double. If I multiply those 2, I get negative 14i. If you double, you get negative 28i. Square the 7i, you get 49i squared. Don't forget that I squared makes that negative 49. So I got a 4 minus 49, which is 45. And I got a minus 28i. And there you have it. Hope it helps. Let's do great tomorrow. Make a hundy. See ya. Bye.